Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. So thank you as always for all of your overwhelming support. This video is actually a re-upload because someone pointed out that I'd make a slight mistake in the question, which is really confusing, and so I thought it'd be better to just re-upload it as a whole. So if you guys saw a video, then saw it disappear a couple hours ago, this is that one, okay? So it was just this first section that I had to re-record again, that's all it was, okay? But as always, it's a good sign that you guys are paying attention and not just listening to me blindly. It's always important to critically analyze things and have another look over things. So the idea here is that I've been doing this series where I thought I'd start the series where I basically just do different questions each time about QR, where I take questions from a certain section. I show you slightly faster ways to do it. Okay, so I believe we did averages last time and we're going on to ratios this time. So as always, if you guys would like to pause, see if you can do this question and let me know what you get as your final answer. Okay, so if you want to take a pause now and I'll explain it. Okay, so let's read the question. So how many more dancers than choreographers were there in year 6? So in year 6, the total number of dancers and choreographers increased by 500 from year 5. So in year 5, there were 10,430 plus 1,270. So 10,430 plus 1,270. That equals 11,700. So you can do a little bit of quick maths here. This equals 700, and then 10,000 plus 1,000 equals 11,700. Okay, but we know that number increases by 500. So in year 2... therefore, there is going to be 12,200, okay? And then it tells us the ratio of dancers to choreographers is just 9:1. How many more dancers than choreographers were there? So, therefore, if we divide by, so you can see there's 10 parts in total. So if we divide by 10, we get that each part is equal to 1,220. And then for dancers, and then for choreographers. So for dancers, 1,220 times 9 is going to be 10,980. And then for choreographers, that's just going to be one part, which is 1,220. So, how many more dancers than choreographers were there in year 6? Sorry, it's not meant to be year 5 and 6. Sorry, not year 1 and 2. Year 5 and 6. How many more dancers than choreographers are there? 10,980 minus 1,220, which equals 9,760. You can just do a bit of quick maths there again. Okay, so that's kind of the standard way of doing the question. The faster way to do it is, it's not going to save you a ridiculous amount of time, but it's just more kind of an idea about thinking about it. So if you think about it, they're asking us for how many more dancers are there. We know the ratio is 9:1, so there's going to be 8 parts more dancers, if that makes sense. So the fast way to do this question, we could have avoided doing all this, is just to multiply this by 8. 1,220 times 8, and surprise, surprise, we get the same answer. So 9,760. So this is not a massive trick, but you can see it saves you a line or two of working. And if you can use, this is definitely something that's definitely a lot more applicable than something that we may have seen in some of in the previous video, in that second averages question, where we were trying to figure out the answer by looking at just the answers and which ones it couldn't be. This one is definitely a more usable method because these kind of things do come up more often where they ask for like how many more of something is there, how much less is there. You can just try and just focus on finding just the difference. And the point of these questions is to highlight that the UCAT is not about getting the perfect method. There's no method marks, just the answer. You can guess the question right, you can do it properly. As long as you get the answer, you get the answer. So whatever shortcuts you can find, they're really, really important to be able to use. Okay, perfect. So let's move on to the next question then. Okay, so how would you do this question then? So let's go through the proper way of doing it first of all. So how many gallons of oat milk can we produce from using the same amount of water needed to produce 5 gallons of oat milk? So it shows you the water required to produce 1 litre of 5 different types of milk. So if we're making 5 gallons of almond milk, we do 5 times 4.5, which is going to give us 22.5 litres, okay, of almond milk that we need to make. But we know that the water that you use is 370 per litre, so then you can multiply this by 370. So 22.5 times 370, which is 8,325 litres of water. Okay, so how many gallons of oat milk can you produce with this many litres of water? Well, oat milk is 50, so let's divide this number by 50. So 8,325 divided by 50 gives you 166.5 litres of the milk of, should be oat milk. And then to get it into gallons, you divide by 4.5. And that gives you 37 gallons. So 37 gallons, answer's D. Once again, you're probably thinking, how do I do this the little bit faster way? So this is where it's perhaps a little bit tricky to kind of think about. But all that's happening is, the only thing that really changes is, like, there's this ratio here that stays constant. So you've got almond milk and you've got oat milk. It's 370 to 50. I know it's a weird way to write the ratio. But if you do 370 divided by 50, you get 7.4. So it's basically telling you that almond milk requires 7.4 times the amount of water. Does that make sense? That's basically what's happening here. So you need 7.4 times the amount of water to make almond milk as you need to make oat milk. So if you can make 5 gallons of almond milk with a set amount of water, let's call the water X, then you'll be able to make 7.4 times the amount of oat milk. And as you'd have it, 5 times 7.4 is 37 gallons. So you can see I've turned all of this into one line of work. Once again, a massively simplifying hack. Okay, so I hope both of those examples make sense. So you can see it's just doing little things over time, which cumulatively kind of adds up to lead to big decreases in terms of timing and big increases in terms of your score. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. So all I've done here is I've just kind of abused the fact that there is a ratio here to understand. And since we're using the same amount of water for both, and I understood that the almond milk takes 7.4 times the amount of water, that for every 1 almond milk you make, you can make 7.4 for every 1 litre of almond milk you can make 7.4 times the amount of oat milk. Okay, perfect. So thank you very much as always, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Make sure to comment which feature of QR, which QR questions you'd like to see me do next.